Hello, everybody. This is your host, Gabriel Phoenix, and welcome back to another action-packed day. Today, we're going to be going over my tier list and the evil commanders for that. For the commanders for evil factions. So people who follow the channel, you know I'm the evil faction. So we're going to go over all the evil faction commanders, and we're going to go over the tier list for them. Now, we're also going to do a 70 gem pool. So, let's get everything out of the way. Let's get into the pool. Right into there. Gems there. We're going to be able to do this pool. And, yeah, let's see what we get. I decided to do this because a lot of people ask me, you know, Gabriel, can you do your pools, because we know you spend a good amount of money in this game, and we want to see you do some pools, you know. And by the way, if you don't know this game, this is Lord of the Rings, Rise to War. We do have a download link in description below. You're able to play that on PC or phone, so that link can work for either one. Also for iOS as well. So thank you all for watching. If you need to download the link, it's in the description below the video. So a lot of people ask me, hey Gabriel, can you do some pools? And we want to see some pools. So I'm going to do some pools just for fun. We're doing 70,000 gems, which I think is enough before we do the tier list. So let's get right into it, shall we? Our first, not that good. Here you go. Oh, actually, I actually did needed that one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on my wish list. So anytime you do a pool, you want to make sure you pick the items that you want on your wish list. If you don't want it, take it off, and that way you can keep everything else. Because the reason why you want to do that, let's say you get here, I just want to get my Witch King the 5th respect, so that way he can unlock his last tier. So I just unlocked my Witch King true potential on that. I don't need anything else. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna go back to the pooling. So let's keep doing this. All right, we're gonna pool. That one wasn't good. Let's do it again. Not a really good pool on there. Oh, there you go. We got something here. We got the scripts for Saruman. Got 2 epic treasure, and that's a decent pool. If you get 2 epics out of a 5 pool, then it's good. If you only get 1, it's not really a good pool. And of course, when you get legendaries, if you get legendary weapons or legendary gears, that's well worth it. Boom. Okay, that's one of the things I did need. Gotta go over here. Do another 5 pool. Alright, so there you go. That's another thing. You see, I'm getting the items that I need, that I put on my wish list, because those are the items that I really want. Okay, we got that. I don't think I'm gonna get any invitations, because I think I got majority of the invitation. I also want to get some more shadows, potions. Ba-ba-bum. All right, here's another one. Boom. Yep, got that one. We'll go in the whole entire necessary of that. Ba-bum. Okay, awesome. Got another Death March. Ba-ba-bum. Bammo! Alright, good. Alright, we got another legendary treasure. It's always good to feed in there. Fire of Mount Doom. If I get a legendary invitation, I might do something special. Okay. That's very good because we actually do need that. I need to buy the last two for the exchange. Okay. Ba 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 ba. Okay, go to Totem. I wasn't really looking in for that, but that's really nice. Okay. Wasn't looking for that either. Bammo, yes. Okay, so I did get that one. That's good. Got that too. Bam. Okay, and I think... Okay, so we got another Witch King. Okay. And there you go. 70k pool right there. Did we get anything good? Got some stuff. Nothing too crazy. It was more of a wash. We did get some legendary equipment, but not enough. I mean, the rates in this game, I'm gonna be really honest. The rates in this game are not the best. They are absolutely atrocious. But, you know, we do what we can. I mean, it's not like we can do anything else. Here, because I actually do need to get... I had to clear my throat there. We needed to actually do some exchange here to actually get the items we really do need. Right here. And then we are gonna go here. Okay, so I only need 5 more, and then he's already tier respect 5, not representative 5. He represents the 5, and then he is a little bit more crazier. So we got that. So we need for him, we're gonna need 8 more for him to get to his respect 5. So I'm probably gonna have to do the exchange for him, which is not a problem. We can definitely get that done going and be able to get him to respect to unlock his final tier. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the 70k pool. We're not gonna go too much into it because you guys are mostly here for the tier list. So let's get into the tier list and let's go ahead and rock that. So here we go. We have ourselves our mighty tier list. As you can already see, the first hero is already there. We got, of course, Aru Karor. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's not the best character. Honestly, in my opinion, his skills are not that impressive. He does have a heal. He has a way... He's just really scattered. He's not the best. He's probably the worst commander right next to Grima in the game. He is not the best. So I don't recommend investing too much into him. He's not going to go ahead and give you what you want or what you desire. There you go. Something's up here. There you go. And he's not going to give you the best that you want, and you're not going to get the best from him. So you're really going to get disappointed. So he's going to go right into F tier. Right here. So let's go to the next. All right. So I can click on him. There you go. So, this is Ugaluk. Now, he's a pretty decent. He is mostly a physical attacker. His skills are very wide in the Urukai. The Urukai actually does do a big boost on them for the might and speed. We talked about this before in his skills. He's pretty decent. He does lack in certain powers, so if you do go with him, definitely go the Urukai Elite pattern. That right there is going to benefit you the most. You can make him a self-sustain. So the way how he is, honestly, you will go with the White Hand and the Urukai Elite. Those are the paths that you would take. It kind of feels like he was more of the Urukai booster. Like, you can really get a lot of good units off of him. Boost your alchemists, boost your berserkers, boost your snipers. But in reality, he's really good with the berserkers. You'll do really well as the tier 4 if you're an Isengard. Him in the tier 4 unit, amazing. Hands down, really good. But he's pretty decent. I haven't really encountered a really good build for him yet, or I haven't fought anybody who has a decent build for him. But he's just more of a unit buff in one particularly unit type, which is the Urukai. But it does pretty good. If you're an Isengard, I would highly recommend him doing that. So what I'm going to do is, he's definitely going to be in the C. Reason for that is because he definitely requires, if you want to make him good, if you're an Isengard, he's definitely going to be a B or A for you. But every other faction, an evil faction, he's definitely going to be a B, because you're not going to get that tier 4 unit that is going to make, he will make that tier 4 unit in Isengard hands down one of the best ones there are, and he will just destroy the planes with the tier 4 unit. He really does good. I don't know why Isengard doesn't use that much. Maybe he is kind of hard to get and kind of hard to train, so definitely a big keeper on that. So next one. Oh, my boy Gotha Mog. How much I loathe him. He's a fugly little orc, and a lot of people give me a lot of heat on the channel for it. They leave me comments saying I don't know what I'm talking about, this commander. But let me tell you, he is not the best. He is definitely defensive. He's not F. I'm not going to put him in the F, because I know a lot of you guys will just freak out when I did put him in the F. But he is definitely a good defender. He's always been a good defender. I've seen a good troll army with him, with orcs. A really good orc and troll army together. With Mordor, you might actually have a better time, because you could put tier 4 Ravagers with him. Definitely does a really good job with that. Sorry guys, let me drink some bubbly to clear my throat. I have seen people put like tons and tons of trolls on him, for mountain trolls and Ravagers together, and then they throw in like a good, let's see what I was gonna say, I'm trying to remember, because he's more of a physical damager. I think it was Reapers, if I remember correctly. So it's like Reapers. I'm trying to remember the build. It was Ravagers, Mountain Trolls, and Reapers. Come on. So, yeah. And you can actually do a really good build with that. You will go to, of course, the Morgul Lieutenant. The path for that, and the second in command if you really wanted to do that. That's what's going to really get good. Or you can do the crippled. The crippled is actually going to be really good, because for each attack they're going to cause maximal damage with the trolls, and that's what you want to do on that. But besides that, he's not the best. I don't really like him that much. So he's definitely not going to go in the F class, but I'm going to put him E because he's not the best and he's not very flexible. So I don't really like him that much. And he's a fugly little orc. Let's go to the next guy here. So this right here is the Mouth of Sauron. Mouth of Sauron. Now, Mouth of Sauron is pretty good. Now, he's not S tier. He's not A tier. But he does do really good. I've seen a lot of great builds for Anti-Witch King for him. Definitely go ahead, and when you grab him, you can definitely do what is called the Lieutenant of the Boromir, which is really good, or Harbinger of Darkness if you're going for minus. What I do is the black. I'm gonna say this correctly as possible as correct. It's called the Black Numerine path, and I do the Lieutenant of the Barad-dûr. And those are the ones. But you can also, if you don't want to do that and you want to do reduced, you could definitely do the Messenger in Harbinging of Darkness. He's really good with a heavy focus alchemist army. You're going to put heavy alchemists on him, and then you're going to put mountain trolls. You're going to see some really crazy stuff. You put about, I think it was about 50 mountain trolls, and the rest is just alchemists. And I think it's like 50 or 100 mountain trolls. I don't remember quite. But you're gonna do that, and you're gonna put the remain alchemists. You're gonna see this guy destroy things. Let me tell you, the type of really good tech on that is crazy, because you're automatically reducing everybody's attack, so physical attack and everything like that, but your alchemists are doing so much high force damage that he's a force base, so they're gonna do lots of damage on the enemy with their defense and everything, and they're gonna do nothing to those trolls, and those trolls are just gonna be fully tanking it at 100%, and you can give of course your opponent madness and just watch them cry. So I'm definitely gonna give this guy a good solid B. He is definitely 100% good for that. Definitely like a really good crazy anti-Witch King, or if you want to do Oathbreakers, you can do Oathbreakers with him. If you're doing the Alchemist, you'll destroy those Oathbreakers like nothing. They won't be able to do anything whatsoever. All right, Khaldun. Let's look at Khaldun really quick. Now, Khaldun, he's a good damager. He does have a really good sustained damage. He's definitely not a unit support. He's, how would I say? He does have Evil Man abilities. Like he has a chance to buff up Evil Man's, attacking twice and buffing. But when you really think about the percentage that it gives you, it's a really low percent. It's like about, I think it's about 20% or something like that, 20 or 25. And it's not that high. So I would recommend doing a Spear Dancer build with him with Experienced Warrior. And that way you can really get that going in there. And if you have some left over, you can put Easterling to reduce the enemy's stats to help you become better in the commander. He's definitely a good, decent early game. Late game, I haven't really seen any good late games. I toyed with him a bit. He's not that strong as far as power unless you put really good gear on him, focusing on might, because you can actually get a really good might build on him. But definitely Spear Dancer, really good. That one works excellent. Definitely does really good. You want to do the melee attack on him, Experienced Warrior, and getting all that physical damage, because his modifier is amazing when it comes to melee units. So for that, I'm definitely going to put him as a D. So he's not that bad, but he's definitely pretty solid on there. Next one will be Now, Ugg Thok, I think that's how you pronounce that. Ugg Thok. I actually like him a lot. He's really good as a starting and mid-game commander. Really does really good. His Syrian Axe ability, you can do Force. I wouldn't do Force so much with the burn, but the boost for Isengard. So this is another must for Isengard is Uklak, because he really does increase Isengard's Urukai damage, and he can actually increase Orc as well. But he can heal, and that's a big thing. Like, he has a big heal. I would definitely do the Urukai Elite, put some Orcs on there with him. So I would probably put Raiders and Berserkers with him, because Raiders are really good against Rohan or even against Cavalries. But with him, it's even better because he does able to boost the damage of them. And if you want, you can actually increase the speed and reduce the damage on Orcs with him, as well as give those recovery to your give the recoveries to all your units on the Urukai, which is your Berserkers. And he can increase the Berserkers' potential damage, which, you know, every turn Berserkers do less and less damage, but their starting damage is amazing. And he's just a really good solid unit. To be honest, you can even do Urukai and Warlord, and those two right there are really good. Syrian Axe is okay for burn damage. I mean, it doesn't really do that much because he is might heavy, so he's gonna deal more physical damage than he is doing burn. So I wouldn't really recommend him. He's definitely gonna be on C for me, because he definitely does a big boost. Now, let's go with. Hey, yo, what's up? How you doing there, Boris? So, here you go. You got Saruman. Saruman. Saruman, I'm actually a little bit disappointed in Saruman. I originally thought he would be better. You know, I want him to be better. I would like for him to be better. But in all honesty, he is a disappointment. I mean, yes, he could do some focus damage. You know, his stats are pretty decent in focus damage. He causes madness. But to be honest, his best trick is, hey Boris, thank you for the thank you for loving all the content. Thank you for being a follower and being a viewer. I appreciate making these for you. Now, Saruman, his one trick is actually making your units go for targeting enemies and making them have madness. Now, one of those things that he can do is he can increase the Urukai. So Isengard will actually do way better for him. Like, he really would do really good with Isengard, because he does boost the Urukai. He does increase the damage for them, and he does have the HP recovery as well as the damage reduction. Now, you can build him about two ways. You can build him targeting madness, which then what you're going to be doing is you want to do tankiness like trolls. You want to be able to get like raiders or units with high defense. If you want to put crushers on him, crushers would probably be really good with trolls if you're doing the madness build. But if you're doing pure focus, like 100% focus, because you can get a ridiculous amount of focus damage for him, you can do like mountain trolls, and then you do alchemist build, like more common, or you can even do the Morgul blasters, and they will actually do a lot of damage as well. Or you can do the Urukai build, which is the Urukai booster, and just, you know, focus him doing mostly the damage. So you would probably do the many colors. With that, you would probably focus on focus damage, and then you'll do the star key you'll do the star key with many of colors path if you're doing like the unit booster, If you're doing focus damage, you definitely want to do the Palantir Scyther. That's the one that you want to do for those paths. If you're doing the Madness path, you're going to do the Palantir Scyther, as well as the Voice of Saruman. Those are the two paths you want to do if you're doing a Madness build for him. Okay, I'm actually going to put him on C, because out of all the legendaries, he's not actually the best out there. And now, here you go, we're going to do Chiron. This guy, oh my god. He is the best commander in the game. The best commander in the game. Solid guy here. He's not only really tanky, you can put like elephants on him. He destroys every single person out there. Not even the Witch King can really stop him that much. If it comes between the Witch King and Chiron with really good builds and really good focus, Chiron is gonna win because of the heal. Because Witch King, first 2 turns of the Witch King is where he shines, but if the Witch King goes longer than 2 turns, Witch King is dead. That's how you defeat a Witch King, is that you really have to beat him on the first 2 turns, and then it's gone. So you need heals and stuff like that. Really strong thing. So with Chiron, you want to do Lord of the Sands. It's his best path ever. You want to stick with that, and you definitely want to go with, I think it's the, let me see here. I'm looking at his stats line. I'm trying to make sure I say everything correctly, because I don't want to give you guys wrong. And yes, so what you want to do is go Lord of the Sand and Easterling, because his tier 1, amazing, absolutely 100% amazing. It's reduce, heal, reduce damage, heal, reduce damage, heal every freaking turn. I mean, this guy is so crazy, and he stuns the enemy at each turn, and he can affect all enemies with the stun. It is just, this guy is just so good, hands down, probably the best commander in the game. I know a lot of people on the good factions like, you don't know what you're talking about, but us in the evil faction, we're like, he knows what he's talking about, because that guy just hands down is broken. You're not gonna see a lot of Chiron in the fields, because there hasn't been enough support for him. Like, it's very hard to get his gifts. I don't even have a Chiron, and I already spent like a couple of thousands on this game. But and nevertheless, this guy is so good, but very, very hard. He's the best commander in the game, but the hardest commander, one of the hardest commanders to get your max respect for, and to really skill him up. Really hard to do it. It is a bit of a grind. So that's why we're gonna put him. You already know it. We're gonna put him on the A, because I mean, sorry, not the A. Sorry, if I put him on the A, there's gonna be rioting. He's actually gonna be on the S. There you go. Everyone, I can always picture, if I put him on A, I can see hundreds of people just, you don't know what you're talking about. He's definitely an S tier. Yes, he is an S tier. Chiron is an S tier, 100%. Now, for one of the newer ones. This one is Beruthal. Now, Beruthal, she's actually interesting. I feel, the problem is she's new, and I feel she's the same as Chiron. She is really strong, really powerful, and I think she's a broken character. But the issue is there's just not enough time with her. A lot of people haven't played with her. She's super hard to get. Super hard. Like very, 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 very hard to get. Very tough. We did have the content chest earlier, but it wasn't easy. She's been really tough to attain. I think the rates are probably high, but same thing. She has a stun, she has a heal, and a reduce damage. She's really good at reducing damage, really good at doing reducing enemies damage. Like, she's really good. Like, she's just so good. But there's, like I said, there hasn't been enough time with her, and one of the main issues with her is that we haven't figured out a good build for her because not a lot of people have her maxed out. So for that, I would say I would put her as A for right now, because we just haven't had enough time for her, and she's just been so incredibly hard to attain, that it's just been really difficult to attain. So let's go right here. So we're gonna put her on the A list because she's potentially an S, so she's like in between here, but we want to make sure we're doing this correct. This is kind of a little long too, so let me shorten this out here. Boom, boom. There. Okay, good. All right, next one. Oh yes. I keep trying to say Andrea, but it's not Andrea, or it's Andunia. Anduia? Anduia? Aia? What? Sorry if I don't pronounce it right, but you're here for the tier list. So this is one of the made-up characters that the game developers made. A lot of people were giving a lot of heat, and I wasn't too excited for it either. But I gotta admit, she is very solid. She is really good focus damager. She's almost as good as Kamal. She is really solid. One of her spell seeker abilities increases the focus, or she has reapers, so you can build her as a focus or a might, which is a physical damage. So she can do a lot of fun stuff, and you don't really have to worry as well because her black Nenomrian. Anyways, her skills are really solid with that. So I built her as a spell seeker, using boosting on her focus, mostly focus and poison damage, doing her black new men Orion, and doing, of course, with the black art and getting the dark, not the dark mantle, sorry, the black art. That's how I built her. She's really good. I highly recommend putting more defense units on her, because she has good stats when it comes to doing her focus damage. Like, she's 311 for me in focus damage, but it doesn't really go off as well with Alchemist for some weird reason. I don't know if the damage doesn't like the stacking or something like that with her focus in game, but it does work on the Morgul archers. So the Arbingers, they really good. They really do really good on that for those archers. They really good, really a big boost. So I definitely recommend using that on them. And maybe mountain trolls if you want to keep them safe, or if you just want to go balls to the walls, put your dragoons on her, put your raiders, because raiders right now, I think raiders are like some of the best unit right now for evil factions, because almost everybody's using mount units, and it's really easy to take them out, and they're super fast and they do a lot of damage. The DPS on them is good. They're good on almost anything out there. So I'm definitely going to give her an A. Definitely really good, really solid A right there. All right, next one. And now, Gorbadge. Gorbadge. Let me tell you, this guy is amazing. Ridiculously good. I didn't think he was that good. And I was like, oh, you know, I can see and stuff like that. But I was sadly mistaken because I was open to the new light. He is a focus damage dealer master. This guy is just so insane. Just crazy good with Alchemist. Definitely doing the Alchemist build on him and getting the enemies really, really well. Doing Orcs. I remember, what was it? No, it wasn't Alchemist. Sorry, I apologize. It wasn't Alchemist. It was Reapers. Really crazy Reaper build. Like, it was Reapers. It was Blasters, the Morgals, the Morgul Archers. And it was, what was the other orc? I think it was Raiders as well. But he is a pure orc booster, and he does amazingly well. Like, this guy is just crazy. I might have been Crushers. I might be thinking about Crushers. But he does amazing poison damage, and Blasters do, I mean, the Morgul Archers do really good on him. I know they're not called Morgul Blasters. I know multiple people, and you know, you're not pronouncing the name right. But it's the Morgul Archers. It's the evil one, evil faction archers that do poison damage, and they have the abilities to attack twice. He does really good with them, and you put Reapers with them, and then I think it's Crushers. And it's been destroying people. Season 2, Gorbadge came out of nowhere, and it is just destroying people, destroying Witch Kings, destroying all the heavy healers. It doesn't affect Quran, because Quran heals too much, and he pretty much is like just stops everything. But man, this guy, he does really good. If you get that orc build, pretty much almost unstoppable. It takes a lot of people to take it down. I'm gonna actually give this guy, this is gonna surprise a lot of people. I'm gonna give this guy, oh, there goes my list. Oh! I touchy the least. I'm gonna actually give this guy an S. He's really good. I highly recommend playing with him. He does an amazing. He really is he's one of the best rares out there. Highly recommend using him if you don't have any legendaries or solid epics. He's pretty much a solid staple. A lot of people been using them. They've been destroying a lot of people, and he is just so good right now. All right, next one. You already know what kind of rank this guy is gonna get. There's no really introduction for him. Allures. He's really, really good. This being here, he is a solid Isengard pick, solid evil faction pick. You just name it. He is built with ferocity, and he is a pure solo damage dealer. Matter of fact, you don't even need units for him. He will take out the units. You can have like a miniature army, and he's just gonna whop in there and just boom, 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 kill everything. He is a solo commander. He deals damage left and right. He is so good, so good. And my server, all we're seeing is Witch Kings in this guy, and they're destroying everything. And yeah, you can put the elephants on him, and he destroys everything. If all you need to do with him, if you don't know what to build, put him as the Uruk-hai Firstborn, get the Pursuer on him, and just watch this puppy just destroy everything. Do those paths on him. You can put elephants, trolls on him. Just put something that's very tanky. Even Crushers. Put pure Crushers. You can just put 100% pure Crushers. So, I didn't use him this season. I'm going to openly honest admit, I used him season 1. This season, I decided not to use him because I wanted to focus on other commanders, because I wanted to experiment more. And I'm learning a lot more about the other commanders. That's why I'm able to give you guys this good feedback. But I usually build him with Uruk-hai Firstborn. And then for me, I like to use the Uruk-hai booster. So I definitely go with If I was to build him serious now in season 2, I would put the Uruk-hai Elite only the Uruk-hai Elite, and then I'll do the path for the Uruk-hai Firstborn and Uruk-hai Pursuer. Those are the 3 that I would build. And if I was to build his unit, honestly, if I had elephants, I'll throw on pure elephants on him. But if I didn't have elephants, the build I would use on him would be Raiders, 100% Raiders. I would put Dragoons, and then I would put Ravager if I'm in Mordor. If I'm in Isengard, I'll put the tier 4 unit there. If you're in Rohan, you can actually do your tier 4 with the Dragoons and Raider and make them really fast, like just scoop. All you do is you send them, boom, 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 boom. You're hitting people so fast, like he will glide and fly like Santa Claus on a sleigh, going ha 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 ha, clink, ha 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 ha, clink, and clink, and watch all those units just pass away. That's exactly what I would build on him. For Agmar, you can do the Fallen for him as well. But he's just a pure damage dealer. Most stuff works on him. But one of the best units that you want to do, what I did in the past was put pure Berserkers. I did this in season 1. It worked beautifully. You put him as pure damage, put pure Berserkers on him, and automatically he's doing massive amount of damage anyways, but man, the Berserkers do like 45 damage. Boom! You see their whole army just crushed, just suddenly just go in half, and just boom, pure Berserkers on this guy. High DPS damage. You can put Berserkers and Raiders if you want, but you want high damage on him, really fast, and do that. Just laugh your way as you watch all your enemies die before you. He's definitely an S class. I would definitely put him as an S. Let's not joke ourselves. He is 100% an S. S tier. That's definitely 100% on that. So next one here. Let's go to Sharku. Sharku. I had a lot of hope for him. I actually thought he was going to be really good. I thought he was going to be really solid. He turned out not to be good at all. He turned out to be terrible. He turned out to, because the way how it is with Raiders, they have high DPS, but he is a focus dealer, so he's not as good as I thought. He's really good at just doing a solid tavern, you know, getting your taverns completed. So usability, he's decent. I would definitely not. I wouldn't put it past him to do more focus damage. I wish they would did better. Like they would. All he really needed was this. Okay, this is exactly what this is exactly the ability he needs to be amazing, and this is the only ability he needs to be amazing. Make all Wog Riders do focus damage instead of physical damage. If he did that, if he made all Raiders, which are called Wog Riders in here because that's what they are, so if people are confused, it's the dogs that he rides on, those are Warg. But if he makes all Raiders do focus damage instead of physical damage, like he actually swaps out the type of damage modifier that they deal, hands down, he would be a B class. But he doesn't do that, so I would recommend doing him as a E. Not a high pick. Definitely not the best out there. Alright, next one. This is a fun video. It's going to be a long video, but it's going to be a fun video. So, Agzok. Now, he's kind of interesting. He is a damage dealer. He's actually pretty good at dealing damage. But honestly, he is he's a anti-range. That's the way to build him. The best way to build him. I've been trying him a lot of ways. But the best way to do it is do your Mountain Warrior max out, do the anti-range and do Shadow Mist, and that way you'll be able to. Is it Shadow Mist that I was thinking about? Get to the enemy. No, not Shadow Mist. Sorry, Pursuer and Mountain Warrior. Those are the paths that you would do, and you're gonna put Dragoons on him as well as Raiders, because he's just anti-range. So against elves, if you're having a trouble time fighting Lorians, use this guy, max out his Mountain Warriors, put Dragoons on him, and other things like snipers. Snipers are okay, but you could do snipers, you can do Reapers, but things that just do mostly against archers, or if you're looking for range units, anti-range unit, he's really good on that. He's a pretty solid. He does have a good powerful might on him, so it's good to put those might heavy, those physical damage heavy units. He does pretty solid. He can do a lot. He's pretty decent, so I would definitely put him as a D. As an anti-range unit, he's definitely, you know, S, but as all around, because this is what we're doing all around, I would definitely put him as a D, because he's good, but could have been better. All right, now let's talk about this guy here, Gashenek. So Gashenek, I'm also kind of very disappointed. I actually like his concept of doing poison damage and continuing to do poison damage, but in reality is that he can stun, he can do this, he's good on focus, boosting focus damage, so you can do really good on Alchemist. For Isengard, probably would be probably better for if you start off there. Maybe he's not as good, so I use him mostly for taverns, because he does have the abilities to be count as 2 commanders, so he's really good at finishing taverns. But until we actually see a good build on him, because I'm struggling finding a good build on him, because his focus damage is really not the highest. It's mostly focused on, like, I feel like he's more focused on siege, if anything, but he's not really the best, I would say. So I would definitely put him. I'm gonna definitely put him in the E. He has a purpose, but you know, it's not the best out there. He's definitely gonna be right there. So here you have, like, the reason why this guy's F, because he has no purpose. He doesn't even help in taverns or anything of the such. He's just terrible. At least these guys, you can use them for some kind of reason. But this guy, he just doesn't do that well. And here you go with Grima. Oh, Grima. Oh, Grima. 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 What did I say about Grima? Grima, he's not. He's terrible. He's actually, I think he's probably one of the worst. He's not the worst. The worst is definitely this guy right here. He's definitely the worst. Which is, that guy is definitely worse. Azo, he's terrible. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're on season 2, don't get that guy. Get the Goth Moth. You'll be happier that you did. But he's a focus dealer. Honestly, how do I say this? Like, he's not even that good. Like, you can inflict madness. I guess that's the only way to do it. It's like his madness build. So like the worm tongue, and you're gonna probably put maybe the damage reduction. He's a little trouble. Like, he's okay, but he's not. He sucks. He's just really good for targeting madness. I use him mostly just for gathering resources and stuff like that. He's not the best. He's definitely gonna be right here in the F. Grima is definitely in the F tier. That's who I would put here. All right, next one. Yusara. So Yusara. Now she's also one of those ones that she has a solid build, and you can complete. She can count as 2 tavern tips, that's really good. She does have a decent about reduction. She can stun, but as far as her stats go, they're not the best. Like the way here it is like she wants to do physical damage, but her stats is mostly better in focus damage, and she's like probably like a sieger because she does give an early game boost siege on tier 1 on her respect 1 levels. So she's definitely gonna be an E class. Nothing really special about her. That's pretty much it. She's just gonna be that kind of special person right there. All right, so now next one, Sagrat. He's actually very interesting as far as it goes. Sagrat, you can actually do a lot with Sagrat. One of the cool thing about him is that his early game stun. Like if you want to do a stun, he really can stun early game. Damage receive is, of course, he does like a damage receive buffer, but that's fine because it's that stun that you want, especially for things, because he really does focus really well. He's immune to madness. He has a good damage reduction. Again, he's a really solid rare. He does have a damage booster with, of course, madness chance, but you can make him immune to madness. So I would do reckless, I would do watchman, and then I would focus solely on getting capture. So capture just by itself, and then doing the watchman path with reckless path. Those 3 right there would be solid, and you would go very far with him. Definitely, I would put this guy. I would definitely put this guy as a D. Really solid right here. He is flexible, and you can do a lot. His stats are really good. He does take some time, like I said. The reason why I'm putting him as D, because you do need his respect 3 to get the immune to madness, so you can't early game use him off. All right, next one. So let's look at here. It's my boy Maltok. A lot of you know how I feel about Maltok. Maltok, he is actually very decent. I've been using him a lot with pure raiders. I've been skilling up like crazy using like the new wisdom mechanics, and let me tell you, I'm very impressed with him. He's not a he doesn't initiate fights, but definitely is a big supporter, because the way how he is that the pure raiders, I have faced level 50s. I have faced really strong broken builds. He has never failed me. He draws. Boom. He hits him, draws. He does his damage. He won't win the battle because, you know, his I'm trying to figure a way how to like change it, because there is a way to make your speed into your damage modifier with him. I just don't have enough skill points, so I'm trying to level up that skill point to get enough to unlock that, to see if he actually will do major damage, because his might is low. But let me tell you, if I can get that, he's doing extremely major damage, because you just put him with raiders, which are fast, and his regular speed is super fast, so he's incredibly fast himself. And you can do some massive damage with that, and his reduction of damage is just nuts. He's definitely a good support unit, definitely a good follow-up. Like, you do your initiate your fight, you use your main guy, your main powerful guy, go and you send him with pure raiders, he'll sweep up the floor. So I really like him a lot. I would definitely say he is, for a rare, amazing. I would definitely give him an 8. definitely an A tier here. I highly recommend using him. If you're just a free-to-play player, he would actually help you out a lot. You just got to get that speed damage modifier up. You may want to sacrifice, getting, what is it called again? Instead of doing the Easterling and getting that, switch to the Pursuer and boosting up the bonus effect, and you'll be able to do that. Or you can do the Interrogator and unlock the stun for him and against 2 enemies, which is really good. That's a really good percentage for him to use, which would be the Interrogator for him. Let me shorten this too. Want to make sure everything fits in a small box, but definitely he's an A rate. He's definitely A. You just put pure scout, early game to mid game, even late game. He still has functionality. You could do scouts into trackers, into raiders. Really good once you unlock his tier 5. That's the only thing is tier 5 you have to unlock him right there, but definitely he is A rate. Next one. Let's go into, now I'm going the opposite because we're going up. Now he's a newer guy. I haven't had the chance to play with him. Zigir, not Zigir, sorry, Zigrid. He's actually pretty interesting. I wonder how he's gonna be, honestly, because a couple of things is that he does a lot of additional damage. So he is mostly a physical damage, and he does have a lot of controls. Like, for instance, like against random mount units, he's anti-mount. He has where the next damage deals damage less on you. He does more. He's really good if you're able to get the Duranding warriors, which, there's also those too. I haven't used them, so I haven't been able to use as much. But he's solid. Like, he's actually a pretty solid. You can give him a decent build with gaining experience from battles. He's fast. You can do like things like. Here, I'm just looking over his things real quick so I don't say anything wrong. But yeah, he's a pretty solid. He's still a new character, so there's a lot to learn from him. But I would definitely recommend him being a B, because there's so much you can do with him that you can build him. He's very flexible. He's a good starter. He will be able to help you out. He's definitely a B ranked here. He can do so much. I've seen a couple of people do some good builds on him, but he's definitely not, what's the word, a typical commander. He's mostly neutral camps. If you get an Isengard probably has the best version of neutral camps for him, because they actually have the warriors that go for him, which is his tier 5. But he's definitely, you put neutral camp units on him, the higher units, he's really good on that. He does really amazing job. Pretty solid commander. He's not the best of the best. He's going for the B, but definitely he's doing really good. Now, Black Serpent. In the past, I have said he is the worst legendary. I still stick with that saying. He is the worst out of all the legendaries. Now, if you do get elephants on him and you have him on tier 5, respect 5, he is broken. He's really good. He's almost unstoppable with elephants. Respect 5 maxed out. The elephants don't deal damage to themselves. They trample, they heal themselves. Really solid. Evil Men, he does really good on evil men. So he actually can do a lot. His first Fire Dancer is not as good, but his starting stats are not bad. 85 physical, 91 focus. His speed is whatever. It's slow, but he actually does really good. So the way I would build him if you're doing elephants is Horn of Herald. Horn of Herod. And then it's Lord of the Elephants. I'm just gonna call them elephants, but yeah, they're Mumakil. They're Mumakil. Kili. Or Kill. Yeah, Mumakil. But they're elephants. So, I would definitely do that. Do the recovery for them and really just focus on those elephants receiving less physical damage and focus damage. He can wipe out a Witch King on Respect 5 with the elephants, just a pure army of elephants. You cannot stop him if you properly level him. He is just really good, and it's very hard to really stop him. So for that, I am definitely going to put him as a B, because you do need to get him on his max, which is going to be really hard for a lot of people to do. But he's really good. Once you build him, he's really good. Really solid with the elephants. With your evil faction and you're in Mordor, you can be almost unstoppable if you get this guy to Respect 5. But if you don't have Respect 5, don't even bother. So he's a situational, definitely situational. But he can definitely, if you build him right, really solid build. Sauron! Okay. Sauron. Very disappointed in Sauron. Season 1, I felt like he did a lot better. Season 2, I felt that Season 2... Because there's a thing here, right? Season 1, everyone didn't have all the legendaries or anything like that, but Season 2, it seems like more people have more of the legendaries. So I feel like I'm fighting Witch Kings all the time. So with him, he's a good focus damage dealer. I have pumped so much skill points onto him, but I'm so disappointed because he's not winning. He's not, he's still getting destroyed by good factions. He gets destroyed by Witch Kings and lose. Like, it's like he doesn't even deal that much damage to them, which I'm very disappointed because I felt like he should be doing damage more because his stats are ridiculously good. But then when you look at his skills for the focus damage, they actually are not that decent. They do a decent amount of damage, but they're not high at all. I'm very disappointed. And you don't even use Alchemist. You don't use none of those units. What you're going to be using is pure defense units with him. If you want to really do a really good job, don't bother with Alchemist. Don't bother with Morgul archers. Don't bother with anything that does focus damage like Corsairs or any of that. Just do crushers on him. Do high defense like trolls with him. He'll do a lot better, and then you're gonna see him actually winning and doing a lot of damage. But definitely do high defense with Sauron. The way I built him is definitely, you want, like, it's almost a given. You want the Lord of Gifts for him, and then you want what is called, I'm gonna say this, my breast is Gortharu. I think that's it, Gortharu. But it's pretty much the one where the enemies actually receive more focus damage and they get hit. And yeah, you definitely want Lord of Gifts. You definitely want Trembling Strikes and the Black Arts. You definitely want Overload, and you definitely want Soul Siphon. Those right there, he's gonna do his big much damage. You don't want to do his Respect 5. It's pretty much useless. It's not really worth it. But yeah, definitely do that. And if anything, you can give him a chance of inflicting madness with Ring of Terror, but it's not. It's really not. It's really not that worthwhile because it's only a 10%, and even if you do max, it's 70%. But to get all three to push him, you really need to keep putting gifts on him. Like, you really need to throw gifts and try to get as much skill points as possible, but it's really hard. For that, I'm really disappointed. I'm gonna put him as a D. Right here. Should I put him as a D? I feel like I'm doing a disservice for him. You know, I'll put him as a C because he does do a decent amount of focus damage. And you can actually win a couple of fights if you build heavy defense. So I think he would be definitely a C. C would be fair for him. So next one, Shadow. Shadow. What do I say? I primarily use Shadow. He is definitely expensive. Let me tell you, Shadow is this is how I build Shadow now. I just put speed on him. I put Raiders, Dragoons, Fall Beasts. I don't bother with anything else. I just put pure speed on him. I make sure he runs fast. He deals a lot of damage. He heals. Shadow's really good. But when I say he's expensive, he's expensive. Shadow doesn't really show until he is Respect 8. Listen to when I say Respect 8. He really needs to be Respect 8. That's when he's going to really show, because you're going to do your Shape of the Void, you're going to do your Undertaker, you're going to do your Black Normian, and your Ring Wraith with the stun, and you need to put for Black Arts, Dark Mental. So pretty much with him, you're doing all your skills almost with him. You definitely want to be able to do almost all his skills, but it's his primary skills. Like Shape of the Void, you want to max that out. Black Numari, you want to max that out. Undertaker, you want to max that out. Ring Wraith, you don't have to max out, but you definitely want to, you know, do his Nazgul Screech. That you want to max out. So if you can get that and you can pull him like that, you will demolish enemies. He will be really hard to defeat, especially for things like facing like your typical you know, Gandalf. Gandalf. I know a lot of you guys are gonna leave comments for me saying that because you guys did it before. Anyways, but he can definitely help with fighting against healers. A lot of it, he does a lot of damage. Very focused. But if you put a high defense, he is the one that does all the damage. Like, I now have him doing 25 damage per turn just on him to all the units, not on one unit. He does 25 here and 25 there. So he actually hits everybody for like 50,000 damage in one turn, but it's spread damage. So it's 25. Or maybe it's about 40. It depends like what hit damage he's doing. But anyways, he does really good, really solid. He is very expensive. So because of that, and I mainly use him, and he's super skilled up, I would definitely make him a B. He's just really very expensive. Yeah, just super expensive. So next one is the one I main in season 1, yeah, and that is the Kamahl. Kamahl is really good. Kamahl, I think that's how you properly say, because there's no A in the last, so it's Kamahl. That he is so good. Automatically, he is just a focused damage dealer. You will just focus. I know some people are like, oh, but you have to have avoidance on him and blah 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 and do all this other stuff. Yes, you can build them with Ring Wraith and do a second in command. But Shadow of the East, Ring Wraith is hands down amazing. I'm not a big fan of his Respect 5, which is the Black Easterling. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think it's worthwhile to actually use those. But the Ring Wraith is definitely 100%. I would do Ring Wraith and get that down. That right there is really good. And he is phenomenal focus damage. I purely do focus damage on him and just really hit hard. Truly a really great commander. This was the one that you get for like I think what is $1 or something, $1 or $2. Well worth it. Easily, hands down, one of the best investments I made in the game. Definitely, he is A. He's not S because he's not terribly broken. He's actually very balanced, but he is very powerful. So he's definitely an A. Next one. Well, you know him, you love him. You can't get enough of him. It is the Witch King. The Witch King. Witch King. Man, this guy, my God, he destroys with a lot of builds. Like, you can do, I just learned this. You can actually do Berserkers on him. Not do Alchemist. You can actually do Berserkers on him. I know. And do Fall Beasts and Berserkers. And it is crazy good. Crazy good. Or even if you want to put like trolls, like you can build this guy. He's just so good. You can build any unit on him. Yes, his best is the Alchemist build, where you put a lot of Alchemists and you send mountain trolls in front. Or my favorite is the Alchemist with the Fall Beast. Destroys 100%. Definitely you want to be able to boost him. Most people know you put Ring Wraith, you put Screech on him. You put, I think it's called Lord or something. The game's on maintenance right now. The game's on maintenance. I can't really see, but what the skill calls. But yes, Witch King is definitely 100% S. He is a must. I would definitely do that. Azu, they're not rank E, they're rank F. Grima and Azu are rank F. They are the worst commanders in the game. But Witch King is definitely a rank S. Right there. Boom, 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 boom. There you go. Boom. Now let's go with Undying. Final one of the day. Undying. Originally, I thought Undying was one of the worst legendaries, and I stand corrected, actually. This is the one that actually creeped up to me and surprised me a hell of a lot. Undying is a damage soaker beast. Let me tell you, he is an anti-Witch King. He soaks the damage so good. He heals like redonkulous when you get him to like Respect 5. And if you want to do a focus build, you can, but I don't know. I don't see why would you do that. Like, he is a pure tank. He is a tank, 100% tank. And he soaks up so much that it is a solid foundation of that. So that right there brings his level of respect for me higher. He's definitely respectable. It's the reason why in the chest I was looking to get those pieces to get him to represent to get him to that represent on level sorry, not represent. Why I keep saying represent? Damn it. Respect level 5. His respect level 5 because his heal is phenomenal, and a lot of the abilities on there is a must for him. Like, he is just a really good one. Really good soak up tank. Hold the position. Make your enemies like cry when they try to kill him. Like, they have to send troops after troops. It's really phenomenal. I am shocked at how much damage Undying can really take, and really respect the build on him. So he's definitely going to be an A tier. He's not an S because he can't really kill as much. Now, Shadow, like I said, Shadow can be an A tier, but he does require a lot of skill points. Like, you really have to get him to respect level 7 or higher and max wisdom, everything to able to really use his true potential. If you can do that, he can be an A tier, even an S tier, depending how much skill points you can throw on him. And he can be really unstoppable. But because you need so much invested, he has to be a B tier. Because it just requires too much attention. But yeah, Undying, not that much attention. He starts automatically a tank, same as Kumul. Not enough attention. You can do it at start. I definitely with Meltalk, really good, easy to get to respect 5, good rare, and you already know why the S tiers are the S tiers. That's how it is on these guys right here. These guys are super good. These are one of the main guys of evil factions. If you have these 4 right here, you should do really solid, and you should be destroying your enemies. And like I said, these 2 are the worst. They're just not functional. This guy is really bad. He's maybe good early game, but as far as I go, he just falls off the cliff. Terrible, terrible. He just doesn't have a direction, and he doesn't do anything solid. Like, he'll lose every battle mid game to late game. You won't be able to do really good with him. And of course, these guys are good for supporting in Siege or Tavern, so they do have a functional use. That's why they go E for, the using. These guys are solid, so you can build them really good on D rank. They're solid, well balanced, not the best damage dealers, or and they're not going to give 100%. They're not going to perform as well as the people on top. These guys will do decent damage or amazing boosting on units. So they would really do help out. They're good for mid, early, and late game. If you're an Isengard, these C right here is definitely going to be the one that you're going to want to use a lot. Right here, Isengard. These are going to be probably your 4 main besides your S here, because these Isengard right here on these 3, they just scream out. They're gonna help you and make you stronger in all your units, especially your tier 4. These guys make them super great. Besides, of course, using next role, like I said, B tier. These are guys that are physically functionally. They do amazing, have a really good, but you have to commit to them a lot. You have to give a lot of good skill points, or you have to get their respect level to a certain level. They're a little tough to grind, or you have to need a neutral camp. They're great. They are amazing, but you need to really commit to them. If you're going to play with them, you need to commit to them 100%. These are just solid commanders right at the gate. Like I said, she can easily probably be an S tier. She's just early. We haven't seen a lot of good build on her. Not a lot of play around, so we're gonna see how this season goes, and then we'll probably do the data. But this right here, boom, boom, boom. These guys, 100% solid commanders. You won't go wrong with them. They will carry you to late game. These guys right here will just demolish and destroy everything, and you won't ever have a worry or problem ever in the game. You may lose a couple of times to other people who are whales, but these guys right here will really carry you no matter what faction of evil that you are. So, thank you everybody. We highly appreciate it. I thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the pulls earlier when we did 70,000 and gem pulls, as well as the tier list. Hope you guys enjoy this. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. I know you guys are going to do this. I know a couple of you guys are probably fuming, asking why are this here, or maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is what I feel, this is what I see, and this is exactly how I fight. So thank you guys for watching. It's a privilege always doing these videos for you. This is Gabriel Phoenix signing off. See you later. Goodbye.